Fast food workers, what should we never order from you? At Starbucks, don't order something from the secret menu. We don't know what a snickerdoodle frappuccino is, as it's not a menu item. Employees would be more than happy to make you a drink if you just explain the recipe rather than the name of it. I'll make you diabetes in a cup if you just tell me what you want in there. Just don't get mad at me for not knowing a whole menu customers created. Salads from DQ are a ripoff. They just recently downsized them while changing the bowl to make it look like the same amount. Over $5 for 3 ounces of old lettuce, cabbage, carrots, and even older grilled chicken. I used to work at Chipotle and never ever order the tacos. You get less than half the regular portions. Instead, order a bowl with whatever you want in it, then ask for the taco shells, hard or soft, on the side. When I was there, the shells were free to get on the side. I used to work at 7-Eleven, so I'm gonna say any of the taquitos or hot dogs around midnight up through about 4 or 5 a.m. Around midnight, you can be almost assured that these are now high mileage. The hot dog might have more miles than your car. If you're really short on time, don't count on chicken tenders or grilled chicken sandwiches or salads being made quickly at Burger King. I remember that the tenders took forever to cook, and we didn't really make them that often, so most times they were made to order. Same for the grilled chicken. I work at Buffalo Wild Wings. Don't get anything other than the wings. That's the only quality thing there. Everything else is frozen. I worked at an Auntie Anne's Pretzels, and typically at these, there's a window and people can see you rolling the pretzels. I want to point out for us that it was more sanitary to not use gloves over using them. We'd get customers complain about it, but it's actually written in our rules that we don't have to use them. It's perceived to be cleaner. When we didn't use them, we washed our hands much more often, and it didn't matter anyway because bacteria got killed off in the 600-degree Fahrenheit ovens. From after the oven and onwards, no hands are involved, and you're using tongs to transfer product around to pretzel sleeves. The only thing I can say is that sometimes the pretzel dogs or hot dogs can be icky when you don't order one fresh. When they sit in the warmer, they shrivel up and get all chewy. If you see something on the menu and can't find at least 1 or 2 other items that the ingredients could be used in, don't order it. For example, my restaurant has a pulled pork sandwich. We don't use the pork for anything else. Since it's not ordered too frequently, it's not fresh, and the product you're eating might be days or weeks old. It's not going to get you sick, but it definitely won't be as fresh as the other things on the menu. I worked at a Japanese casual fast food restaurant, and we had this thing called a volcano roll. It cost $7.25. A California roll there cost $3.75. The volcano roll was a Cali roll cut in the shape of a triangle and topped with spicy mayo that had been heated up, with about 10 cents worth of fish. Literally just a few bits. You're much better off ordering a Cali roll and paying the extra 50 cents for the spicy mayo on the side and asking them to heat it up. I had one guy come in with his girlfriend and ordered a volcano roll, and when served in the restaurant, unless they ask us, we put it on top so it looked nice, like a volcano. When I brought it over, he was like,
"Oh, I didn't know you guys put the sauce on. I've only gotten it for pickup and the sauce is always on the side. I don't really like it. Could you bring me one without one?"
I tried not to laugh and said sure. I went back and the sushi chef asked what was wrong. I told him that he didn't like the sauce and wanted one without it. He laughed and said all right, so he took a Cali roll, cut it up, and put it on a plate. I brought it back to the guy and he was super pumped. Basically, this guy paid $7.25 for a roll that would have cost him $3.75, and me and the sushi chef got to split a free volcano roll. Do movie theaters count? I'd say pretty much everything is fair game unless your manager is a jerk. We rotate hot dogs regularly, throw out the ones that have expired, and put new ones out. Nachos can get pretty iffy if the day's been slow. Sometimes we'll have the same nachos in a warmer that have been there since that morning. Jimmy John's. If you're trying to order a healthy option, don't order the Gourmet Veggie Club. It's the second highest calorie sandwich behind something called the Gargantuan. 8 slices of provolone cheese will do that. I used to work at McDonald's. There have been some McDonald's life hacks going around the internet for a few years now. Please don't do any of them because then one or both of the following will happen. 1, your order will take forever. Yes, I get that you want fresh fries, but are you really willing to wait the 4 minutes for that? And if you are, do you promise not to complain about the wait? Or number 2, you'll be upcharged for certain ingredients, like the poor man's Big Mac, a McDouble with mac sauce and shredded lettuce. We upcharge you 30 cents for the mac sauce and 20 to 30 cents for the shredded lettuce. I used to work at Boston Market. They're pretty good. The only thing I can think of is that any chicken that isn't on the bone, sandwich, pot pie, etc., is day-old or more leftover chicken. Anything off of a hidden menu. Most people working don't know how to make it, and you'll probably receive a giant glob of assorted ingredients on a bun. Chick-fil-A. Don't order grilled foods if you're gluten-free. While technically gluten-free, a lot of cross-contamination can occur. Be specific to be safe. Oh, and don't order a standard salad at night. It was probably made that morning. Request something else on it and it'll be fresh. My brother's girlfriend used to work at Wendy's, and a saying there about fries was, "They aren't old until they're sold." Don't order any type of fish. I work in a popular fast food place near the ocean, and to make our fish, we grind up all the remains. Eyes, fins, scales, hearts, lungs, things like that, and just make them into fried patties. Ex-Sonic employee here. Don't order steak or grilled chicken ever. Don't get the new ultimate chicken sandwiches. They're insanely overpriced, and the normal crispy chicken sandwiches taste way better anyway. The time to get fresh food is when the place is busy, as they're less likely to give you something that's been in hold for an hour, or their hold will continually be fresh. If there's a sale going on for something like half-priced hot dogs or half-priced burgers, only order a reasonable amount if you want quality. If someone orders 20 burgers in the middle of a rush on half-price burger day, we don't care. We'll throw that together so sloppily you'll barely be able to call it a burger. This doesn't apply to half-price corn dogs, however, as we're able to just make a bunch at a time anyway. Don't get the chili. It comes in a bag, gets warmed up in a metal tub, and then sits for 10 hours until we run out and replace it. It's also just not very good to begin with. Try the seasoned popcorn chicken. The barbecue and garlic parmesan flavors are actually really good. If you're allergic to any kinds of foods, be wary. Onions are in the same dressing station as the rest of the condiments, and cross-contamination is not our problem. The same goes for peanuts with the shakes. If you're getting a milkshake, be aware that there are 3 different kinds, and therefore 3 different prices. There's the normal shakes, the master shakes, and the new creamier shakes. The creamier shakes are actually good, just don't get the lavender one. And if you're getting a slushie, the same thing applies, only it's normal slush, candy slush, and real fruit slush. If you're at a stall and the card reader isn't working, just wait for the car hop to come out and give them your card. Don't call in again to ask why the card reader isn't working. And don't hit on the car hops. It's a crappy job and they have to put a smile on whenever they have to deal with you. They're not smiling because they like you, and if they do want to flirt with you for whatever reason, they'll make it very clear. Sonics are dirty as well, at least in the region where I worked. We were continually understaffed and expected to run the entire place with a small crew and clean. We do the best we can, but we don't get paid enough to stay after our shift and work off the clock cleaning up. It sucks, but that's the way it goes. When I used to work there in Canada, McDonald's grilled chicken could sit there for a long time. So can the fillet of fish. Usually they're on top of it, but things happen. Don't be afraid to order those fresh if you're worried it might be stale. Same with regular burger patties. They take like 40 seconds, it's no big deal. I've done a 4-hour shift and just forgot to throw out the old grilled chicken and make new ones because no one ordered it, and it had already went past the timer when I got there, so there was no beeping to remind me. It sounds stupid, and it was. We're all human and humans are dumb though. What you should order is fresh grilled chicken. I used to time the grilled chicken for my breaks because it was just that good. Personally, I think the fillet of fish is disgusting at McDonald's, but that's just my opinion. Don't order anything at around the time the menu switches. Everything will be old. And there's an hour where they take the whole system down in the middle of the night. Don't know if everyone does this, but mine did. And you're gonna end up in a long line and pay only cash. I'm a general manager for Taco Bell. Order anything you like at my store. My team and I take pride in giving you quality product. All I ask in return is this. If you want 2 or more Taco 12-packs, please don't order it in the drive-thru. Come inside. I won't deny your 48 Doritos Locos Tacos, but we will all judge you. Drive-thru is meant for quick orders, not to feed your soccer team. Thanks. As someone who's worked fast food for a while, don't go through the drive-thru unless you can't avoid it. If you have all your kids buckled in and it's a hassle, then it's fine, go on through. But if you're just by yourself, try and take the extra minute it takes to get out of your car. You'll usually have your food quicker, even if you're getting it to go, and you have a better chance of not being given the crappy old fries, chicken, or meat patties. For pizza, don't order any pizza that has fresh exotic veggies, unless that joint is not selling only pizza. Exotic veggies include but aren't limited to artichokes, silver beet, broccolini, and the likes of unusual tomatoes. At Sonic, if you order only drinks, it'll get delivered faster. Also, combo meals take high priority. During a rush, don't go through the drive-thru. Ice cream takes forever to make. If we give you the wrong item or make a mistake, keep your receipt and we'll give you a free replacement meal. I work at Jimmy John's, and my answer is that everything is always fresh unless you have a terrible manager. And if that happens, corporate shuts you down immediately. Our meats are sliced in the shop and are always refrigerated. And even then, they're sliced the day before most of the time. Same with the veggies and such. The real trick is knowing how to order your sandwich and save money. The Jimmy John's menu is specifically created to squeeze money out of its customers' pockets when you don't know how to order. Subway worker here. A Veggie Delight, Kids Pack, or anything on wheat bread. The Veggie Delight doesn't have anything terribly wrong, it's just the same price as all the other subs. Seems like a waste to me. Even if you're vegetarian, there must be better options out there. For the Kids Pack, that thing is expensive. The 4-inch sandwich for your kid with 1 slice of meat costs the same as the 6-inch I could give you with a drink, with 4 slices of the same meat. The regular brown bread gets dry fast. If it's fresh, all the bread is good. Coming down to the end of the day, run from the sandpaper wheat bread. Ironically though, the bread that seems to stay freshest longest is the honey oat wheat bread. Not sure why. Things I do recommend, change your sandwich to a salad bowl. It's a pain for us to make, so I may regret this, but you get way more bang for your buck. Lastly, never order the roast chicken. It's alright, but I do guarantee there's some specialty chicken going for a cheaper price. And to be honest, all we do is add the various sauces to the roast chicken. So it's basically the same thing, just cheaper and usually with juice. And as an add-on, Subways are really good with food prep and all that. They always keep it fresh, replace things on time, and actually throw out what they shouldn't keep. Others get limited funding and have to make them stretch. A good indicator is the cookies. Every Subway bakes them fresh first thing in the morning. If you walk in and there are some that look slightly older than the others, then that's because they are. Lower your standards if you plan to visit an all-you-can-eat buffet when there aren't many people inside. The food has probably been sitting there for a while since nobody was there to eat it. I can't explain how many times I've gone to a buffet, seen nobody inside, and tasted the stale consequences of my poor judgment calls. I worked at Red Robin for a summer a few years ago. I'm not gonna lie, they were insanely particular about cleanliness, and I actually left that job with more appreciation for Red Robin than when I went in. For example, we had a health inspector come one day. My boss knew about it and didn't tell anyone. When I joked around with him about it later, he laughed and said something like, "Every day's health inspection day. My health inspection." Don't order DQ blizzards with extra sauces. Thanks to the flip it or it's free policy, this means that your now 80% liquid blizzard is almost guaranteed to just slosh out of the cup. At Pizza Hut, everything in the store is frozen when you get to us, so it's all the same quality because it's made as the order comes in. The gluten-free pizza just tastes like absolute garbage for obvious reasons. If you can avoid it, please do. Everything is fresh at Jimmy John's, minus their bread and cookies, sorta. The bread comes frozen and there's quite a process to bake it, but it's all made that day. Anything left over is sold for 50 cents a piece the next day. The cookies are frozen and just thawed, but everything else is fresh. My friend used to work at Wetherspoons, a UK pub chain, and you never want to eat their poached eggs. They come in a plastic cup and they're just popped out and microwaved. Pretty much anything in Wetherspoons is just microwaved crap other than the fish, which she was there some nights breading until 3 a.m. I work at a Domino's and I have some advice. Very rarely do we take notice of no garlic, light or extra buffalo sauce, or well or lightly done. So if you order with any of those things, keep in mind that drivers usually prepare the food and box it out of the oven. Unless specifically told, it's difficult to spot the instructions given by a customer. Personally, I would never eat the brownies, as they're all pre-made and despite being sinfully delicious, are not worth it. The wings are delicious, but usually fall under the same buffalo sauce dilemma. I recommend ordering mild wings instead of hot, as the only difference is the volume of sauce. Premium chicken is a scam. The garlic cups are not the same as what goes on the crust, which is delicious. I would drink a whole bottle if I were ready to die. And gluten-free pizzas are cut with the same pizza cutter unless specified otherwise. Never order more than 2 toppings on a thin crust. The cutter will spread the cheese and whoever prepares it will likely not bother to fix it. Never buy specialty pizzas. Make them yourself in the creator. And lastly, if you saw how the Parmesan bread bites were prepared, I don't think you'd want to eat them anymore. That being said, I make about 15 of them a day and I still eat them. For my Canadian brethren out there, ex-Tim Hortons baker here. I worked the midnight shift at a location that had a high employee turnover rate. Rightly so, as it was always understaffed and underpaid. Here's some tips. Coffee is supposed to be made fresh every 15 minutes. There should be a white marking on the pot indicating when it was last brewed. Look for the marking and make sure it's fresh. Coffee flavor deteriorates really quickly, and we don't mind making you a fresh pot, especially if we messed up and forgot to throw out an old batch. Decaf is hardly ordered in the mornings, so it's likely we'll have to brew a fresh pot or you're getting old product. If you want to order food, do it before midnight, as this is when we throw away the old donuts, buns, and bagels. They're usually sold to farmers who use them in their animal feed. Fresh donuts are usually available at 2 to 3 a.m., maybe earlier if the location is somewhere popular and not understaffed. Maybe later if the people in front are lazy liars who don't want to make food. The general consensus for drive-thru orders is don't order anything more than 4 coffees at most or 2 meals. The people on drive-thru are strictly timed and they get in trouble if they take too long. If you're ordering as a large group, please go inside. Don't make huge orders after 9 p.m. This is the time when the store is most understaffed, and all that's left is usually 1 or 2 people in front and 1 baker. If you see the baker up front or in drive-thru clad all in white, odds are the people in the front are really behind and called them off his or her routine. Forgive us if we get your order wrong and you need to repeat it once or twice. If we take a long time making your order, more than 5 minutes, we usually offer you a free cookie, but don't count on it. Ex-Olive Garden employee here. Everything is horrible for you. Ask a manager to see a nutrition menu and your jaw will drop. The butter that goes on breadsticks comes in the same jugs that motor oil comes in. Liquid form. Basically liquid cholesterol. I know you think you're healthy eating the salad and soup and bread with extra cheese, but you're not. The amount of salt in every soup is unreal. And the salad dressing even has cheese in it. Stay away from anything cream-based, Alfredo sauce, carbonara sauce, etc. Unless you enjoy gut-wrenching poops. Corporate will comp literally anything. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people walk out with twice as much stuff as anticipated, all for nothing. Not a worker, but I ordered a chicken sauce in KFC that wasn't anywhere on the menu, just on the internet. I got a cup with a little of some brown thing that looked, smelled, and tasted like the leftover from deep frying. Do you like flavored lattes? Don't order the Valencia syrup. I used it twice in a year. The bottle was dusty as heck. I don't know the shelf life of latte syrup, but it was old and dusty when I got there. I used to work at Raising Cane's. They only sell a couple things, chicken and fries, so that's always fresh. They were also super clean. I would not order anything with egg whites at IHOP though. A few years back, I went to IHOP with my then girlfriend. She saw on the menu that substituting egg whites for eggs in the omelets and stuff was an option, healthier and lower calories. Now, you have to realize when most people go to IHOP, they're not looking to be healthy. They're looking to set world record calorie and cholesterol levels. So egg whites are probably not ordered often. But my girlfriend was watching what she ate, and she's also the type to always heavily modify the menu. She almost never ordered straight off the menu. So she requests an omelet made with egg whites. The waitress seemed totally confused. In all honesty, I don't think she had ever heard someone order that before, and she may not have even realized it was an option. She said she would check with the kitchen. She came back a couple minutes later and said the kitchen crew were looking for some egg whites. Then, about 10 minutes after that, she came back and said, "They found some egg whites, but they're going to take a while to thaw out. Do you still want them?" Most people here would say no. Not my then girlfriend. She was like, "Great, thanks." Well, suffice to say, my girlfriend ended up with the worst food poisoning I've ever seen. She was vomiting every 45 minutes for almost 2 days straight. She had to be put on an IV and prescribed this special skin gel that stopped vomiting. It was insane. In all seriousness, for a brief moment, I honestly think she considered that she might die. So the moral of the story is to not order anything at a restaurant that looks like someone never orders it. Jamba Juice here. When I worked there, 2 small 16-size cups equal 1 large power size. People would often come in and ask for their kids to get 2 small smoothies. If it's the same flavor, ask for a power size in 2 cups. Saves you more than $1. Whataburger in Texas and Southwest US area. Order everything. Haven't worked there in a decade, but unless quality has gone to the dumps, it's all worth ordering. Fast food for sure, but the kitchen should be spotless every night when it closes. You'll get diabetes, but not food sickness. Don't order the salads from Burger King. 99% of the time, the lettuce isn't washed. We also just started serving hot dogs not too long ago. They're put in the broiler just long enough to have grill marks, then we toss them in the microwave. So avoid that. Back in the day, I worked for a concessionaire at a major sports arena. NBA, concerts, things like that. The standard rule was never order a hot dog from the concession stand until after the first quarter of the game or after the main act is playing. Why? Well, at the same time, we specialized in a nasty trick called reruns. Reruns were the unsold hot dogs from the night before. When closing up the stand, we were ordered to unwrap the unsold hot dogs, peel the meat from the bun, then take the dogs back to the sink and wash the stuck bread parts off. Now, crunchy buns went in a bag, the now rinsed hot dogs went in another bag. The next day, or week if the team was going on a road trip, the same hot dogs would be brought back out, reheated, and restuffed into those same buns. Those were the ones that were served first. I don't know if this is still happening, but at the time I worked there, reruns were a way of life. Those who worked in the stands hated the practice, but management insisted. We also reran popcorn, pretzels, and ice. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, linked at the top of the description. And if you like Am I the Genius, give Am I the Jerk a shot, linked in the description as well. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.